Welcome back, guys. Right now I want to design the home page and we'll start as usual. So let's start by bringing a device frame. So we're going to close this and let's access our design frame. I'm going to look for design frame and I'm going to insert that as an instance. So here we are. So we're going to leave all this obviously. So this is where the camera is. You remember this would be the time status bar, the camera, something like that. So let's leave that, or we delete it. We could actually delete it without any hassle. You could see the camera cut out. That's what that was. So I could remove it and bring it in. So it depends on what you're designing. So I will come right here to this, and this is black, which is okay by me. It's not looking bad. So my layout grid could come in actually. So let me just select the frame, come to my file and select this frame. So this frame will be renamed actually. So let's rename this. So this will be renamed. So let me rename this frame to the home page. So this will be the home page frame. Yeah, so let's make it home page. So you have to do more practice yourself, but so far we are going to places and here we are. So you could increase this if you have to, but right now let's do it at what it is. And I'll have to come back to my Android UI kit. So I left my wireframe, so I'm going to make sure I copy this and I'm going to bring that in right now. So I'm going to take this home page somewhere here so it has the same fittings as this. So I'm going to have something like this, yeah, which is not looking bad. So we're going to have something like that, and I'm going to use the hand to move around. So we're going to have the hand to span across this. Yeah, so I'm going to copy what that is. I'm going to change to my move to. So I'm going to paste that here, which is the wireframe, and here we are. So we're going to change this to like a 50. So let's see what we have right now, and here we are. So we're going to start right away. So we have all this, and what we want to do now, I'll be creative about this. So let me come to my assets, and here my assets, they are different. We have the tabs, we have the components we could use right now. So let's look at app bars, and here in app bars we could use something like this actually, this title and all that. So let's see what we have right now. So let me use something like this. Let me insert this instance, and having to insert this instance, I bring it somewhere here. Yes, and you can make it something like this not to appear, but let me just say that. Let me use this search and plus. Let me use something like this. Let me bring in this instance, so this will be brought in rather. And okay, let me just delete it and have our own design. So let's have our own design. So here we are, and we could just start copying, just to make things faster for us. We could start copying whatever we are seeing right now. This is an icon and this is this. So I'm going to select that, I'm going to select that, I'm going to select this. So let's do the selection. So I'm going to select that, I'm going to select that, I'm going to select that. So control, let me copy it, let me copy that, and let me come here to paste it right here. So we have that. So let me just, okay, let me ungroup, or let me flatten them out actually. Control Z. Okay, so Control Z takes me here. So what I want to do now, let me use the help of this as well, so we could bring some of this in. So we have something like this. So this will be our first. Let me control D that. So I brought this right here. So let me bring it to the front. I'll say bring to the front. So we have it in the front, and this will start from here. We are going to say, okay, so let me bring in the layout grid. Let me just select the frame and bring in the layout grid. So I'm going to run that right now, and here we are. So we're going to have something like this. So yes, so I'll say hello loved. Yeah, so that would be the body text. We could choose to change it to the border type, or let's keep going. So we have something like this. So let me say control A. Let me take something like this. Yes, hello beloved. Yeah, that's good. That looks good. Then we could proceed to bring in a notification icon if we want to. It depends on what we want. So we could proceed that way as well. So we could come to our assets. These are our assets, and look for notification icon. Oh yes, notification. So let me say notification. And this is the notification icon. All I have to do is to insert that instance, or insert it into this. So we have the notification icon right here. Yes, so the notification icon is right there, and let me look if I can see a search bar. So let's see if we could see a search bar. Look at a search bar right here. We have them numerously. So all I have to do is to draw my own search bar with my rectangle tool. I'm going to draw my own search bar right here just to have something different. So yes, we're going to have something like this, and yeah, we are good to go. So let me have something like this as my search bar. Yes, and this could come to the very edge of things. Yeah, so we have something like this, and this could be, yes, this could be something like this. And yeah, we're going to have this search button right now. So let's do something like this, a little bit of a stretch. Yeah, so the search button can come in. We're going to insert that, and yes, that has been inserted 2424. So we're going to bring it right here. That's the search button, and yes, so let me just bring it to the middle. That's it in the middle, and let me just make sure it goes across. It starts from there, and this will be the control D. I'm going to bring that up, so I'm going to bring that to the front as well. Bring to the front, and this comes this way. We're going to name it search. So that has been sorted. The search bar has been sorted. So right now we have a rectangular, so let's do something like this following the format on the wireframe we have here. So here we are, and there will be an image. So there will be an image in between this to this. So let's have an image right there. So let me bring in my unsplash. So let me come to my plugins to access my unsplash right here and bring in an image. So I'm going to bring in an image right now. So let's see what we can bring in. So let's say we have a store in the app. So let's bring in a laptop. So let me look for a laptop to bring in, a laptop that would represent something we want to sell. So let's bring that in. So let's bring in a laptop, and let's see what we have. So we have different laptops right here. So let me just bring in one. So I have different laptops. So yeah, so let's say, okay, what I want to do now. So let's see what we could bring in right now. I think this should be able to go in. Let me take that in. Yes, so I'm going to take that in, and that will be the image. So we're going to have something like this. I'm going to say something like this, test control D. So I use control D to do that, and I'm going to bring that to the front. Bring it to the front. I'll say laptop. Adverts, it has to be bigger, so let's make it, let's access the tests. So let me come right here, and I have to make it bigger actually. So I have to make it bigger. Oh no, that is too big. So let's look for something smaller. So this will be 24, 36 small, 28 medium. So let's see. Yeah, this is better. So this is better. So this is workspace, and we want to have a 50% off here. So we're still going to copy that. So I'm going to say 50 percentage off daily tickets. Okay, yeah, so let's say 50 percentage off. So I'm going to have this to be in a smaller button. So this will be a body test here. So this will be a body test of 24. Let's see something smaller. So let's say 14. Okay, yeah, 50% off daily tickets. Yeah, so something like this will not be bad. So we're going to have something like this. So this will be 50% off daily tickets, and we can have a button. So I could close this and bring in my button component. So I could say button. Yep, I could look for button component, and here is a button component. So let's look at the button to use. We're going to look for a button to use, and here is a button. So let's say button. Okay, let me use something like this. So let's say insert this instance, and here we are. So this will be this. All I have to do is to change to my primary color. So since I have a primary color, let me go up here. Yeah, so I'm going to use my primary color. So I'm going to change the corner radius. So the corner radius could be changed back to 0, and that will disappear right away. So we have something like this right now, and this will be get it now. Get it now. Yes, it's an automated button, so it expands with our, yeah. So we have something like this, and we could just make it this way. So there we are. So we've done that, and let's go to the next. So you could see this is something that shows that you can actually go further, but that should just be static for now. So we proceed. So let's do something like services. So let's go to the next. So we have something like this: services viewer. So let me just try to copy that. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it here. So we have something like this. So let's bring that in somewhere here. So we have something like this, and this could be separate. So we have something like this here. So we have something like this. Yeah, so we have the services viewer, and we could copy all this. Yes, so let's copy all this, and let's make sure we copy their subtitle, so we could have that to be designed for ourselves. So yeah, so let me copy this. Let me see how this will go. Let me paste it here. So here we are. So this is services, and yeah, we could just make it bigger just to fit into our agenda. So yes, we have this. So we're going to come right here to this will be videography. Yes, it's part of our services. So we say videography. Yes, what I want to do now, the text box is smaller, so I will make it bigger. Yes, so we have the videography right now. So this will be right here, videography will be right here, and we have, okay, so this will be videography, this will be photography. Yes, photography. Yeah, that will be photography. So let's see. So we have something like this, photography. Yeah, so let's bring this somewhere here. So we have photography, and actually we could actually work on all this. So all these status bar, so we could work on all these. So let me see how we could work on this. So file, so I'll just have something like this. So we have the rectangles and everything, so everything looks great. So let me just web design. So I have something like this, I have photography like this. So let's just design, let's make use of this made design already. So we're going to have everything well layered. So let me do this. I'm going to copy this, let me copy this and let me paste it here. So I'm going to paste this here, and here we have the recommended view all. So yes, and I'm going to bring this to the edge of the thing. So yes, we have the edge of our layout grid. Control Z, so this will be Ctrl Z. So let me bring this to the edge right here. So let me do this. So here we are. So we have recommended for you, and we could bring in things like this. So let's bring in things like this. These are cards, so I'm going to Ctrl D that. Okay, sorry, Ctrl Z, then let me Ctrl D that. So I'm going to hold this, then hold this. So let me copy all that. Let me copy and let me come paste here. So I'll say paste here, and here we are. So let me Ctrl Z. Let's Ctrl Z back to where we're coming from. So let me just bring this. Let me control. Okay, let's Ctrl D actually. So let's Ctrl D. So we could bring it somewhere here. So we have something like this, or we should create ours. So we have something like this. It's not looking bad actually. Control Z, Control Z. So yes, we have this. So we could come this way. So we could say Control D just to have it Control D again. So Control Z. Yes, I'm going to pick this up. It's a container, so I'm going to bring it right in. So we're going to have something like this as a second. So let's do something like that. Okay. So left to me, I would just love us to design something custom. So let's delete all that. Let's do away with all this. Bar. Okay, bottom up bar. So let's look for something like, let's come right here. Let's look for what to use down here. So let me just come right here and see what we have. So let's see navigation. Yeah. So the navigation should be down. No. Let's go a bit. Let's see what else we have. So I want to design an app. see all this. Okay, let's draw a bottom navigation ourselves. So since we are not seeing anything to use, so there will be something like this down here. So we could say there will be something like this down here. Yes, so right now this will be down here, and we could give it a blue color actually. So we can make it our primary color. Let's make it our primary color, and let's see how that goes. So the bottom radius can be worked on. So let's give it a, let me give it a 20, and let me set the individual. So this will be 0, of course. The top will be 0, the top right here will be 0 as well. So yes, we have something like this, so we are good to go. So let me look for the icons, and we could represent them with icons or leave them like that. So here we have recommended for you. What do you want to do with this? So we could say we could have like different products right here. It depends on what we want. So we could have something like this. We could have something like, okay, so let me just bring in a rectangle right here. Let me bring in a rectangle right here, and we could have something like this. We could say, okay, check this out. So we have services layout here. So we could say, okay, so let me just bring in some of these tests, and so that we could finish up this home page. So we have some of these tests. Okay, what I could do right now is to access our web design. So we could have something like this, and let me just make it a 50%. So let me come right here to the home, and this is the home. So we could have something like this, and yes, so we could have something like this. We offer tech education and all that. So let me copy, and let me come to my mobile app design, and we would say, let me paste it right now. So I pasted from there, so I'll just change the text. So let me change the text to our body text, which we were trying to use the other time. We used a smaller body text, so we could say this, or yes, we could use body text. Actually, we could use a very small body text. So we could say we offer, okay, so this could be smaller, something like this. So this could come right here, and the alignment could be something like this. So we could say this, and yes, this could come right here, and we could just make it a black color, just like every other color. So we could make it a black color, and here we are. So we could just bring in an image. So let me use a rectangular box right now, and right now let me bring in my unsplash right here. So I'll bring in my unsplash, and I'm going to bring in my plugin unsplash right now, and I'm going to look for what to use right there. So we're going to say education. So let's look for something like education. So I'm going to look for education right there, and here's education. So all I have to do is to bring in, this will not be bad, so let this come in. So I'm going to choose that so it fits into the frame, and there we are, voila. Yes, so we are good to go right now. So we could just use this right now, and let's take this up a bit so that we could reduce this. So we could reduce this somewhere. Yes, so we are good to go right now. So we have this. So all we have to do is to insert this down panel, which could be home, could be services. So all we have to do is to navigate through this place to access that. So in the next lesson, we're going to start to design from here, and we're going to see how that goes.